welcome back to Shelabobby Handmade. My name is Caitlin, known just about everywhere on the internet as Shelabobby, and this is my podcast where I talk about my knitting, crochet, all of my crafty things, and I have a traditional podcast for you. I do have a couple of admin-y things up front to talk about before we get started. If you see random rainbows, it is not a glitch on your screen. One of my friends, Evelyn, if you're watching, hi Evelyn, she gave me a sun catcher and it is currently catching the sun. So I'm getting little tiny rainbows on my shirt. So if you see rainbows, that's the reason why. But yes, that's number one. Number two, I wanted to say up front is that I record every 2 weeks and post on Sundays typically, and the next video will be a week later. So there'll be 3 weeks in between this video and the next one because I have an obligation that weekend where I won't be able to record. So if I can come up with a video to post in between, I will do so, but at the moment there'll be a gap of 1 week. All right. That is that. That is all the business up front. Kind of a short one today, I think, as far as like content. At the end of the video, you will see we are still having Charlie's sock hop, the sock knit along, or make along, I should say, because you can crochet them if you want. That is currently going on until the end of August. And last time I forgot to do the video at the end where Charlie comments on your socks and I do a little roll of everyone's finished objects. I forgot to do that in the last video and realized as I was uploading, so sorry about that. So there'll be a double header of the past month of socks, the past 4 weeks. So at the end you'll see that, but it's kind of a shorter one this week, or this fortnight I should say, because I have no finished objects. I think a lot of that has to do with, I don't know. I really don't know. So I guess I'm struggling a little bit. Let's talk real quick. Let's have a little chat before we get into works in progress. So I got this last year. I feel like around this time I got a similar feeling where I felt like I needed to produce finished objects for my videos to be valid. And my knitting at the moment hasn't been as prevalent as it usually is. One, we have baby chicks and we're currently in the integration process. And if you've ever had chickens, you may have had the same issue or, anyway, it's taking a long time to integrate our chickens and it's very stressful. And so a lot of time is taken up with the chickens and making sure all is good there. They're still not integrated yet, but we made some really good progress yesterday on that. We have a bully, unfortunately, so we're trying to navigate that. But anyway, that's part of the reason why my knitting hasn't been as busy. And then two, my niece, you know, I talk about it a lot. My niece likes to play games on Roblox with me, and I really enjoy playing the games with her as well. And the past 2 weeks, we've really gotten into some new games, and you can't knit and play games. You need your hands to play the games. So, yeah, so I haven't been knitting as much or crafting as much, and that's okay. But yeah, on Friday, I like to make a plan for the weekend on what I want to work on, what I want to accomplish. It's usually small goals, like I want to finish the foot of this sock and I want to knit a color into this blanket and that sort of thing, like small goals. I was like, okay, so I have to record on Sunday, so I need to finish socks because I said I was going to do 2 socks every 2 weeks, 2 pairs of socks every 2 weeks for Charlie's sock hop, and so I need to get these two pairs of socks done. But I didn't want to work on them. I wanted to work on blankets, and so I was going to force myself to knit 2 full socks Friday night and yesterday, along with having chores to do outside. I spent a lot of time outside with the chickens yesterday trying to work on integration. So all that to say, I had to remind myself that this is a hobby and I enjoy making the videos for you guys, and I don't think that having finished objects is a requirement. It's not something that happens a whole lot. In my videos, I typically have a sock or something like that that I have completed, but I don't think that it's a requirement to have a finished object, and it's a hobby and we should have fun making it, and it's not a job for me. It's just something to connect with you guys, make a community, have fun, share my projects, listen to you guys have projects as well. So sorry the lifey stuff was up front there. I tried to make it pretty brief, but I just wanted to kind of share my feelings that I'm having right now, and also open up the floor to you guys. If you guys have a podcast and you have some of those same feelings, how do you deal with them? What is your take on it? Feel free to write a comment below. Also, if you don't have a podcast, how do you handle your requirements in your knitting and making process? And yeah, just share, have a conversation. Let's do it. All right, let's get into the crafty things. Like I said, no finished objects. I'm cool with that. I got close on a sock, you'll see, but I really wanted to work on my blankets, and I made some really good progress on 2 of them. So let's start with blankets. So first is the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart. I am making this out of Ruby and Roses 2024 advent calendar that I opened up the end of last year. I am doing them in order, and I made some really good progress. I'm trying to make sure I don't drop anything. There we go. And my progress keeper should be around here somewhere. There we go. So that mushroom is where you guys saw it 2 weeks ago, and I've added basically 2 colors. And the way that I'm doing mine is I am not breaking the colors and changing them where it recommends in the pattern. I am knitting the yarn to its completion. So my blanket will be bigger. It's possible that I may exclude the last color. We'll see. It's pretty bright red. So I don't know yet. It just depends on where I am and how I feel about it at that time. But I did add 2 colors completely into this in the last 2 weeks. And this was the 10th color. So I am 10 colors in on this blanket, or throw. I guess it's probably more blanket wise, but it's a little scrunched up on here. I don't have a larger cord, and I don't think I need a larger cord other than to show you guys. And I feel like you can let me know. I feel like just showing you like this gets the idea across on how it is going. You don't need to see the full circle until it's done, hopefully. But yeah, so that is where I am. Happy with that progress. Let's see if it's in here. Yep. I did wind up the next color, and it's going to be this beautiful green. So this is not a fade or a rainbow or anything like that. So this green will get added in there. And then I'll show you the other colors while we're at it. If I can get the end. There we go. So these are the remaining colors. I'm not quite halfway through. So this green is the direction we're going, and this bright red is the last one. So you can see where I say I might skip out on the last color if it doesn't need to go in there, and use that as like a contrast color in some socks. But I don't know. I want it to be as big as possible, so we'll see how it is when I get to that color. But yeah, that's the colors that are left. Oh no, I just found this one in the bottom. I don't know where this one goes. I'm gonna hook it on the end. Maybe this is the last one. That would break up that red. I don't know. It's going on the end anyway. I feel like that works. Yeah, we're going with that. I just found it in the bottom of the bag. Oh no. That's all right. We ain't stressed about it. So anyway, that is my Anthology Throw. I literally throw it in the bag like that. We don't care about folding it. So that is my Anthology Throw. Again, loving it. Working on that. That is also working towards my before 2025 stash. I'm doing Mariah Knits Stash Challenge. And so I've slowed down a little bit on that part of the challenge just because I'm using a lot of my newer yarns, but still going strong there. There's a lot of like smaller things that I add into there, but still enjoying that make along and challenge very much so. I will tag her down below so that you can watch her videos and learn about the stash challenge. It's not too late to join. And hopefully she does it next year because this is fun. This helps me use my scrappy bits, which was my purpose for this year. All right, next blanket. Did I say that that was by Helen Stewart? I think I did, but if I didn't, that was by Helen Stewart. This is in my bunny bag. This is my other blanket that I've been working on. This is my bunny bag from that squirrel. I don't know why Fangirl Fibers was in my head. This is the diagonal blanket by Snufflebean Yarn, I believe. It's a free corner to corner knit blanket. I believe that pattern is written for DK weight yarn. I'm using fingering. I couldn't get couldn't get the yarn to untangle there. All right, so this is where I am. Where that Buzz Lightyear charm is where you saw it last time. So I've been working on this. I am using 5 different yarns and doing 30 rows. I almost said rounds. 30 rows per color. And of course it's a diagonal blanket. So I think I'm about halfway through what I'm going to do for the width of this. This is for a friend, Lugna, if you're watching. This is for you. He did not want socks or anything like that. So a blanket it is. And so I am just striping them, going to use as much as possible of these 5 yarns to make this blanket. It's very squishy, lightweight, but also warm because it's wool. And yeah, so I have completed the first 5 colors and then added in that first color again. So it is going well. I really enjoy this one. It's very, very simple to knit and work on. So I use this one a lot when I am playing with my niece because I can drop it, pick it up and knit a few rounds while things are loading, or waiting for restocks on Grow a Garden. If you play Grow a Garden, I'm very excited. I got all of the mythicals yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was the first day that I was able to get the giant pine cone. So I now have all of the seeds currently, like, that are in the stock shop. Anyway, very exciting. So yeah, this is the diagonal blanket by Snufflebean Yarn, and the yarns that I'm using, you might want to know about that. This is different yarns. The first one is Somebody Loves You by Yarnable. This one is Invisible Strings by Ruby and Roses, one of her Taylor Swift colorways. This is a one of a kind from Yarnaceous Fibers. This one is Let's Get Basted by Yarnable, and this darker purple one is Witch Please by Yarnable as well. The request was for purples and grays, and I think this did it. If you're wondering what the markers are on this side, since the colors look pretty similar, some of them, I am color coding my stripes to the yarn. This one has my row counter on it. So I've put a matching stitch marker on the ball of yarn. That way, if I'm just not sure which color is which, I can just look at the stitch marker and know which color comes next. Hasn't been an issue, but I did it just in case. All right, that is the 2 blankets, the updates on those. Next is my Ariana cardigan. This is a crochet granny square cardigan that also has knit features on it. The button band, the ribbing for the hem, and the cuffs are knitted. This is using this yarn right here that's in this cube. All of the color, the brighter colors, the white, the purple, the orangey peach color, and the blue, those are going to be the granny squares, and then the dark gray, there we go, the dark gray is going to be the joining color, and then the ribbings. So I planned to make one square a day. That has not worked out, and I'm not stressed about that bit either. Most of the time I make 2 when I do work on them. And so I tried to make 14, but we didn't get there this week. We got to 10, I believe. Again, not stressed about it. We ain't worried. So here's just some of the squares. So none of the squares are going to match. I used ChatGPT to give me a list of like 300 color combinations for the 4 colors that I have, for 5 rounds of each. And so I use a random number picker to pick which number of those on a spreadsheet that I make, and then make that square. So none of the squares are going to match. They're all going to be individually different. I think I need 98 total big squares, and I'm at 35 maybe as of today. And I have sewn in the backs of the squares, and I've only left the one to sew in when I join. There's the last one. So yeah, those are the updates on my squares. Those go in a drawer over there, and when it's time to join them, they'll all be pulled out and randomly put together to make a beautiful cardigan. That cardigan is the Ariana cardigan by Amy Christoffers. It is a free pattern from Barocco. I remembered that this time. It only has 2 sizes in it. The small medium and then large extra large. And the measurements on the extra large would fit much bigger than myself. So don't let the extra large scare you off from looking at it. It's supposed to be an oversized baggy cardigan. So take a look at the sizings. For me, it's size inclusive as far as the measurements, but not necessarily size inclusive as far as the sizes that are provided, I guess. It fits a large range in those 2 sizes. All right, on to socks. So I have 2 socks going right now. Again, I didn't want to rush them or work on them when I didn't want to. So this is in a bag by JM Yarn and Crafts, I believe. Yes, I got it right this time, which is a chicken bag. In here is my, what I'm now calling my good enough socks. This one has a story to it. Here's the yarn. So I purchased this in December of 2020 and learned to make socks in January of 2021. I bought this with the purpose of when I was good enough at making socks, I would make myself a pair of socks out of this yarn. And so 200 and some individual socks later, I'm good enough, I guess. So I do have one. I should have got my sock blockers. I do have one completed. So this yarn is a mop, which is like where you put leftover dyes, you wipe your hands on it, from Kim Knits Creations. And this is from her 2020 Hanukkah. That video, she used this as a mop to make the yarn that she was making for her Hanukkah special. And yeah, so one sock is done for myself. This is made on US 1 2.25 millimeter needles. I do 68 stitches for myself and shorties because I don't like long socks. My calves do not like long socks, I should say. Just my vanilla pattern for myself. And then here I am on, oops, almost lost some stitches. Here I am on the second sock. So I have finished the gusset decreases and I'm now on the foot. And I have, I think 50 rounds is what I have from the gusset decreases to the toe, and I'm probably 10-ish rounds in. So could I have finished these socks last night and today? Probably. But I didn't want to force myself. I want to have fun with these and fun with my knitting. So yeah, those are my good enough socks. They will be done by the next video for sure, because I need to finish these to cast on brand new socks for my obligation, not this coming up weekend, but the next one. So my goal will probably be to try and finish those this coming week so that I can cast on a fresh pair. All right, the next pair of socks is in my bag that my friend Sarah made for me. It's just a Japanese knot bag. It's reversible. It has chickens. It also has sheep. I think, yes, sheep on the inside of the bag. It's like, no, won't focus. No, it won't do it. These are my Most Ardently socks by Kelly Menzies or Roro and Cades. And I completed one of the socks. I love this color. This color is my favorite that has ever existed. It's a bluey green. It's beautiful. Doesn't do justice on the camera, but just imagine this. Just imagine. It's so beautiful. So Kelly of the Robo and Cades podcast and designer, she is doing a make along where she does every 2 months she changes up the pattern, and this 2-month period is the Most Ardently socks for a make along. You can enter for prizes. I have posted my pictures on Instagram, but I have never actually entered in for the prize. Not something I'm super interested in at the moment, but if you do want prizes, that is definitely available. So it is a beautiful, this is my favorite pattern by her and one of my favorite patterns, period. It is very simple to memorize and do lace. If you are new to lace, new to reading charts, this is a pattern that you should choose. The yarn, I should probably tell you that, it's folded weird, Ruby and Roses in the Chauffeur colorway from her Downton Abbey collection. Oops, threw that on the ground. Soft Rose, I think, is the base. And for these, my second sock is teeny tiny. So I have just done a couple rows on the cuff, and then I stopped. This is when I realized that I was trying to rush making 2 socks when I really just want to enjoy the pattern and enjoy making. So I put these away and took out my blanket. So those are in the process. Here's the yarn in the cake. I'm kind of sad I didn't get this in DK as well, because I got a couple of, did I get it? I did get it in DK. I was like, did I not? I did get in DK. So I do have it in my pile over there to do DK socks as well. How exciting. All right, so those are all the knitting and crochet whips that I have. I do have an update on my cross stitch as well. So I dabble in cross stitch. It's not something that I do regularly, but if I feel the need, I pull out my lamp, my crafting lamp, and do some stitches. And this is a Birth Sampler by Kathy Barrick. Both patterns, so there's going to be a little bit of a reflection. Both patterns are included in here. I am doing this one here. I am doing my own conversion of colors because I didn't have all of them and I wasn't about to just go out and buy some more threads when I don't need them. I have plenty of threads to use. So I'm doing a custom colorway. My fabric is a little bit loose here, but here is where I am. So I worked quite a bit on this bird and the shape of it, and yeah, it's going well. I'm making this for a family friend whose baby was born in February, I believe. Anyway, so I'm making this for that baby. Going well, no big issues. Oh, here's the back. There's also a needle, so don't mind that. There's the back of it. So moving right along with that one, I don't know if I'll work on it this coming period of crafting, but we'll see. Sometimes I just get the urge to make some cross stitch. All right, that is all of the works in progress that I have, and I also have no acquisitions. Good job, me. This time I do not. Yeah, I was like, do I? I don't have any yarn on the way other than my monthly subscriptions that I have, which is Fangirl Fibers and Yarnaceous Fibers, the monthly colorways that I get from them, but they won't come until probably in between the next 3 weeks that I will be crafting and getting things ready for the next video. So no acquisitions, all good there. Reading, I am still on The Secret Life of Bees. I just have not had I've been trying to catch up on my watch later list. I am finally up to the past week. I was a couple of weeks behind on videos and watching the people that I enjoy watching. So I am a week behind now, but I should be able to catch up some more this afternoon and be a little bit more on track there. So I didn't really listen to anything. I mostly just watched that, and I've also started watching Squid Games, so I've been watching that as well as some YouTube podcasts, things like that. I've already mentioned the chicks. As far as lifey stuff, I've mentioned the chicks. They're doing okay. They are 8 weeks tomorrow, Monday. And they're 9 weeks. They're 9 weeks tomorrow, and they have had 2 full weeks out in the girls' run, the big girls' run, and the littles are in an enclosure, a playpen. And we have one bully, Babsy girl. I don't know what's gotten into her, but she is relentless towards them. So we haven't really had them out or tried to like let them explore any, except for yesterday. We opened it up and Babs was still very obsessed, very aggressive towards them. So we tried something by putting Babs in the coop, locked her up in the coop for 15 minutes at the most, to see how the other girls reacted to them, and they were very, very sweet. If I remember, I'll put a picture here of the other girls with the littles. Goldie got past me and actually got into the littles enclosure and started eating their food, but was very, very calm. Everyone was chill. There was some pecking, which is very much expected in chickens. There was no chasing though. There was no aggressive behaviors. And so I have hope that everything will be okay. We're just trying to work out how to deal with Babs and see how that goes. A lot of people say to reverse the jail. So putting Babs in the playpen and letting the other girls in with the big girls and letting them figure it out that way. That's a possibility. We'll see. We're working on it. It's a slow process. I have been misled by the internet. If you know anything about me, I do heavy research into my animals, like heavy research into my animals when I get them, and learn what the next steps are and how certain processes go. And so I have researched integration and the best way to do it in the opinion of the internet. And the internet told me that it would take a couple days and they would be, you know, best friends. Even if there was an aggressor in there, there would be, you know, maybe a week. But we are going into the 3rd week, and I think we're making progress, but it is a process. And I was not prepared for that. Anyway, that is all I have for you. So stick around to the end of the video so you can see all of the participants from the last 4 weeks of Charlie's Sock Hop. If you want more information on Charlie's Sock Hop, please check out this video here. Episode 40 is where I give all the details, and that's just the best place to go. It's right up front in the video, so you don't have to watch the whole thing if you don't want to. But please check that out. Watch all the socks at the end, and I will see you guys in 3 weeks this time, and have a great time. Bye.
They say I wouldn't do it like I won't. They say I couldn't do it and they feel. They say I wouldn't do it and I fall. They say I couldn't do it and I did. I'm a champion. I'm a champion. They say I wouldn't do it like I won't. They say I couldn't do it and they feel. They say I wouldn't do it and I fall. They say I couldn't do it and I did. I'm a champion. a Cybertruck. See you got minor bugs. See me, I got paper up. Watch me how I line it up. You know I've been nice on. New boots on, ain't trying on. I've been me, ain't trying on. Sipping on some Folgers on. I've been feeling like a champion. Gold medal on me like Olympians. Not just made me giggle, cause look what we did. Didn't step in Paris, but we soundtracked it. And now I feel at home. I've been in my zone. I can't do no wrong. Yeah. I've been on the road. All this way to home. Miss you while I'm gone. They say I wouldn't do it like I won't. They say I couldn't do it and they feel. They say I wouldn't do it and I fold. They say I couldn't do it and I did. I'm a champion. I'm a champion. They say I wouldn't do it like I won't. They say I couldn't do it and they feel. They say I wouldn't do it and I fold. They say I couldn't do it and I did. I'm a champion. I'm a champion. Since the saying live with football, I knew I would have it all. I knew I would have the world. I knew I would never stall. Been on go when I fall. Been on green tennis ball. I didn't need to be a 10. They got me a 10 and all that in a bag of chips. My day one, she been my chick. My day one, they still my friends. Some things they may never change. Say gon' come my kid. Work on everything I had. Struggle through everything I did. Took my win, no give me me. They say I wouldn't do it like I won't. They say I couldn't do it and they feel. They say I wouldn't do it and I fold. They say I couldn't do it and I did. I'm a champion. I'm a champion. They say I wouldn't do it like I won't. They say I couldn't do it and they feel. They say I wouldn't do it and I fold. They say I couldn't do it and I did.